disconnect between the head coach and the GM.
Because nobody sees Howie's vision.
No, Howie's a freaking moron. And there's a reason why.
Howie, you got a moron.
Are you never gonna let me freaking talk? God damn, bro. What is going on, all about the Birds Nation? This is a special live edition of Birds, Beers, and BS here on the All About the Birds Network. Your typical co-host, Eagle Jeff, Peanut in the house, and the Eagles 2021 NFL draft is finally over, and we finally have our draft class, and there's a lot to get into. There's a lot of positives. There's some negatives. We'll dive into that. But first off, make sure you're liking, subscribing, following all About the Birds platforms for all About the Birds content. We are powered by Manscaped. Use the AAT Birds discount code AAT Birds for 20% off and free shipping. But in the comments, tell us your thoughts. Sound off. Let us know what you think of this Eagles NFL draft. Are you happy about it? Are you upset about it? Did Howie do his job? But we'll dive into that. A lot to get into, Peanut. But first off, real quick before we get into it, what are your thoughts?
It was confusing because I felt great at first, and as the later drafts kind of went. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm stuck in the wind right now. I like the first pick. Second pick kind of threw me for a whirl, and it kind of just everything fell apart after that. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Look, it started off strong. There were a couple of questionable, not decisions, but it wasn't the flashiest of all drafts.
No.
There's a couple of players that, in my opinion, that they could have went elsewhere, but the selections that they did weren't the worst off. We'll dive into those picks in a little bit, but of course, the first big selection, finally, Howie Roseman listened to us to start off the draft. We were talking heading into this draft that they needed to get playmakers, and of course, they finally did the job with this selection.
The Dallas Cowboys have traded the 10th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 10th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
Nice pick. Dude Howie
is a stud.
Nice pick, Howie, right? You're thinking that's how the whole draft is going to go now, right?
Look, going into that first round, you're walking on eggshells. You're nervous as hell because we never expect Howie Roseman and this Eagles team and this organization front office to actually listen to us.
Yeah.
Now,
about time, Howie, you listen to Jeffrey.
Well, we don't know if they actually specifically listen to us, but obviously they listen to scouts. They listen to the guys that are doing they're paid to do their job and get a playmaker for this offense. I understand people are a little bit upset, or not upset, but a little questionable about them investing so much in the wide receiver position. Because remember, last year we drafted Jalen Reagor.
Right.
We drafted a bunch of late round young talent. So there's going to be major competition going into this draft or going to this upcoming season. But
True. Yeah, well, it's all built on competition, anyways. Plus, we lost Jeffries, Jackson.
Well, those guys were washed up, dude.
Well, I know. What I'm saying is we need to fill those holes, man, especially with playmakers. Not just fill in the holes kind of guys.
This dude's a stud. Just last season, listen to these numbers: 117 receptions, over 1,800 yards, 23 touchdowns.
Wow.
There is a reason why this guy was considered not just one of the top wide receivers in the draft, but one of the best players of all of college football entering that draft. Mel Kiper had him, I think, third overall as his best player available on the board, and the fact that they were able to get him in the 10th pick by trading up with Dallas, giving up a third-round pick. Yeah. Who freaking cares?
Trading with Dallas, too, out of
all people. I don't give a crap.
I don't care. I'm cool with that, man. Howie's the devil, man. He knows how to make shit happen. And you know what? It was a great pick, man. Great pick on his behalf.
Look, if you were going to tell me going into that first round that we would get Devontae Smith basically only giving up a 3rd round pick and getting a 1st round pick next year for them trading down from 6 to 12 and then moving up 2 spots to get Devontae.
Yeah.
And best of all, they take him away from your division rival, the New York Giants.
Correct.
Obviously, they were targeting Devontae Smith. Otherwise, I don't know how Howie got the information, but someone tipped him off and said the New York Giants are looking at wide receiver, which is very surprising since they just signed Kenny Golladay from the Detroit Lions.
Right.
They have Darius Slayton. They have another decent wide receiver there. So the fact that they were somewhat looking at the wide receiving position was a little bit shocking to some people. Everyone felt that they were going to go defense.
Well, that's probably they didn't expect what's his face to drop. Maybe when they seen him drop.
Well, well, that's not the case because as soon as the Eagles made their pick, the Giants were next and they traded down to 20 and they drafted and then they reached at a wide receiver, which Tommy, I'm sorry. You can tell me that they didn't reach all they want and he might be a decent player. He might be. But Tony was not a 1st round talent. The New York Giants pulled a Howie Roseman, which is glorious.
Yeah.
Look, we're usually the ones that always we have the questionable draft.
Right.
We're the ones that we're wondering what the hell are we doing in the 1st round drafting a Danny Watkins or a Marcus Smith, a guy that is not projected to go in the 1st round and you're scratching your head. Who the hell is this guy? The New York Giants somewhat did that.
Yeah, they did.
Tony's a decent player, but again, he wasn't a 1st round talent. Once again, sound off. Let us know. Tell us your thoughts on the Eagles NFL draft. It is official. The Eagles have made a few their final selections a little bit ago, and we'll dive into that real quick. Let me grab up my graphic. I have a lot of clips here, so I apologize. Here's the Eagles' final 2021 NFL selections. They, of course, drafted the 1st overall, number 10, Devontae Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama. Then they go interior offensive line with Landon Dickerson out of Alabama. So back-to-back Alabama players.
Yeah, didn't they say we don't draft Alabama players?
Yeah, exactly. And
Not anymore.
All of a sudden, Howie 1st and 2nd round draft back-to-back offensive linemen. And I understand it was a little bit not troublesome, but going into this draft, you're looking at the Eagles' biggest needs.
Right.
And, of course, wide receiver was number 1, which they dressed in the 1st round, thankfully.
Got him.
But then you're looking at cornerback. You're expecting linebacker. There was still Asante Samuel Jr. there.
Yeah.
There was still Jock, who fell quite a bit, which I was a little bit surprised. He fell like 53.
Yep.
He was projected a mid to late 1st round pick. So the scouts and the team's needs, whatever, obviously they saw something he dropped. But look, Dickerson's going to be a stud.
Yeah, he is.
This is a guy that
he's a nasty motherfucker.
He can come in day one, and he's not going to take Kelsey's spot, obviously, but he can come in. He's a versatile offensive lineman, a guy that can move to the right, play guard, play center. So once Kelsey is done with his career, you have your future center right in the wing to take over. And I understand there's a little bit of concerns with him. The fact that he's had multiple season-ending injuries, and we never have luck with guys that are injury prone coming out of college.
I agree.
And I understand there is a concern with
Why
that.
take him so high if you're, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
I think that's the stigma.
Well, that's not high. If he didn't have those injuries, he would have been a mid 1st round selection. Then they go defensive tackle Milton Williams, defensive tackle at Louisiana Tech. Okay. Again, were they addressing the linebacker, cornerback position?
Right.
High. We expected them to try to address it within the first 3 rounds, but Williams, the Eagles aren't getting younger at defensive tackle. Fletcher Cox is over 30. Hargrave, so they're getting some depth pieces and a guy for the future.
Okay.
Then they finally addressed the cornerback position. Zach McPherson out of Texas Tech, which people have been raving about him.
Okay, I heard a couple things, but
I know there's a little bit of concerns from him in regards to whether he can play outside. One of our man from A2D, Chucks. I love his analysis, and his one concern is with McPherson is that he might not be able to. He's a guy that can move around, but he's more suitable for the slot.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. Okay, if he's suitable for the slot, he might be able to play outside. But with his speed, and he's one of the better zone cover defensive backs in all of the college football last year, and entering the draft. Okay. So he's a guy that can fit Gannon's zone defensive scheme very well.
Nice.
They go with the 5th round. Kenneth Gainwell, running back out of Memphis.
I like that pick.
He's not just a steal for the Eagles. He can be the steal for the draft.
That's a good pick.
On Daniel Jeremiah's, on his top 100 board, he had him rated, I think, like 98 or 99. We got him at 150.
Nice.
The value is there, and his versatility. He's a guy that he brings a lot out of the backfield. He's not just a speedster, but he's also a guy that can catch the ball. I think he had over 2,000 all-purpose yards last season.
Right.
So a guy that can complement Miles Sanders very well.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Then they go defensive tackle Marlon. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. You see the graphic. Tupi Olatu, defensive tackle out of USC. Then they go Taron Jackson, defensive end, Coastal Carolina.
Nice.
Linebacker, finally, Jacoby Stevens, LSU. And then I think another pass rusher. I can't see. Let me move this graphic. Patrick Johnson, linebacker out Tulane, which I think is more suitable for a pass rusher, or he's a defensive end mainly.
Okay.
So looking at this draft, Peanut, who are you most excited about when it comes to the 2021 season? Who do you think is going to make the biggest impact for us? Looking at it right now,
not named Devontae Smith.
Yeah, not named
Devontae Smith. I'm honestly, I would say the running back would probably be my guess.
Gainwell?
Yeah, Gainwell. Sorry, I can't read. It's too small. They just drafted him. Well, I think with this whole thing of competition, I think we're going to see both running backs getting opportunities to get the ball, and I think besides Devontae Smith, I would say him. And I told you they were going to draft a center too. Didn't I say that?
You said they were drafting an offensive lineman in the first round.
That was the alcohol part of it, though.
Yeah, that was the beers and beers and BS bullshit.
Yep.
I was saying George chiming in. He's saying it was a solid draft. So George, one of our great followers of AT Burge, is very satisfied with the draft. It seems like. Craig chiming in saying he has us on the 75-inch. Thank you, Craig, for tuning in. Appreciate you turning in. Jay Koch has a question for us, asking with them addressing the defensive tackle position, do you think Cox will be on the team in 2022?
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to afford him. You know what I mean? I think and plus, you want to sell when he has value. So in order to do that, I wouldn't see him on this team that year.
I think this is possibly his last season in Philadelphia.
I agree.
Just unless he has a breakout season next year, not breakout, but like the level that we expect him to do, he could be on his way out. Because once again, Howie keeps on talking about this is a multi-year rebuild.
Yeah,
and this team just I know you can't eliminate talent and just get rid of everyone. Right. So that's the reason why you're seeing Fletcher Cox return this season. That's why you're seeing Lane Johnson return, that Jason Kelsey, a lot of these veterans that are willing to restructure their contracts to stay here in the city of Philadelphia, which is wonderful for us because we don't want to go full on tank mode.
No.
But once again, this draft told me that they're filling a lot of these positions, the build towards the future. Because they're expecting a lot of these older veterans to move on possibly after the season. Remember, they had possibly 3 first-round selections next year. Right. And they gained a couple of late-round picks in this draft from trading down and trading some picks away. So they're going to have a boatload of picks next season as well.
Plus, these veterans don't want to stick around for a rebuild. They're not going to want to be here, and eventually they're going to want to go to teams that are going to be competitive. I think
yes and no. Look, Fletcher Cox won a Super Bowl here. He's played his entire career here. I feel Fletcher Cox is one of those guys that he wants to play for one team. He wants to play for the city of Philadelphia. Obviously, just hearing him speak, I feel he wants to be here in Midnight Green.
If he wants to be here that bad, then take a pay cut.
But that's the thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not. It comes down to we're not going to be able to afford him and then do this complete rebuild that we plan on doing.
But again, it's one of those things where exactly. If you're going to do this rebuild, you need to do it properly. And the one thing we keep on talking about the Eagles organization is they're not getting younger. They're not in the past. That is not. I'm not saying for this draft.
No, I know what you mean.
But we keep on. They're not getting younger, and screwing up players' progressions by not giving them playing time.
Yeah,
so you just invested a 3rd round selection in a guy that's probably going to be the successor to either Fletcher Cox or Hargrave, whoever they move on from first.
Right.
So you need to get that kid some playing time.
I was going to say the writing's on the wall if they're going to get him to play now. You know what? And not only that, depth, man. We have injuries. These guys are getting older. They're going to have their chance eventually. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say George chiming in. Thanks again, George, saying probably not. He thinks that they'll move on from, or it depends how Hargraves and Williams do, which I agree with. Look, you're not going to get rid of a guy that's been an all-pro and one of your best defensive players, not just on your team, but in all the NFL. The last few seasons and most of his career, so I get that.
If he has a great season, then he develops more capital though. So the better he plays, the better of a draft pick or the better return you're going to get for him. So why wouldn't you?
But the one thing that's a little bit surprising right now is Zach Ertz is still a Philadelphia Eagle. At least the last I checked. I could be wrong. I was setting up for the show, so unless I missed breaking news during the draft or after the draft.
No, I would have told you.
Tight end Zach Ertz is still a Philadelphia Eagle, which we kept on hearing from everyone in the not the organization, but everyone on the beat and reporters saying, "Look, Zach Ertz is getting dealt. He's getting dealt here. He's getting dealt here. He's getting dealt during the draft." Draft is over. He's still a Philadelphia Eagle, which it doesn't mean he's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle when it comes to day one.
Right.
But
what are his chances now, though? They had to go up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't get traded now,
well, that's the problem. According to Rob Motti, he says that there are teams that are interested in Zach Ertz, but the Eagles' asking price is way too high. Which
well, why get rid of him if we don't have to?
I say he's still one of their best pass catchers, but. Yeah. Look, this is guy in the last year of his contract, and if you're losing mode not losing mode, but rebuild mode, and you're not expecting to be a contending football team,
right?
Why don't you move on? Why don't you get that draft capital? Why don't even if it is elite? I'm not saying you're going to get a 2nd or 3rd round pick for him, which obviously the Eagles are probably looking for,
right?
But get a late round pick for him because obviously after this season he's gone.
Yeah,
he's not coming back. Unless he's going to take a friendly deal that could return, and he has a change of heart. He wants to stay here in Philly, but from the sounds of it, they're not giving him that contract. So
he's gonna he'll be, let him play out his final season. What's the salary cap hit though? If we
I don't think it's that bad.
Just let him play there.
Yeah, I agree, George. When you hear noise, it means there's no interest. I agree, but look, we just kept on hearing from everyone that they were dealing him, and I feel the Eagles organization was just trying to use other teams' interests to try to bulk up their offer. And hey, we have this much interest, we should be able to get this, and try to use other teams against one another. But obviously, it backfired.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it always does. I'm telling you, like at this point, don't even trade him. Just keep him, let him play out the rest of his contract, and see what happens. Who's to say where you look, man? Everyone's like, "Oh, it's a rebuilding year," and look, I'm not saying we're a good team by far, but I don't know, man. Like, what if they surprise us? There's always that option. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Hurts plays lights out football now that he has his weapons, dude. I'm just playing devil's advocate, but damn, everyone's like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? Rebuild year," or this is but we don't know what's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nick Sirianni doesn't think it's a rebuild year. You know what I mean? In his mind, he wants to come out winning.
Yeah, look, these guys are still competitors. This ain't the NBA. This ain't the Philadelphia Sixers where we trust the process.
Yeah.
This is still – these guys still have pride. They still want to go out there and win football games.
Yeah.
So, but let's be real. The Dallas Cowboys, looking at their draft, I don't have it up in front of me, but they addressed their needs.
Yeah, they did.
Especially on the defensive side of football. Now, we don't know if those draft picks are going to pan out, but arguably, in my opinion, they got probably one of the best all-around players that was available in the draft with Micah Parsons. That dude is going to be a stud. And okay. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Penn State fan, but he's going to be a ball. He's going to ball out for that defense.
Right.
Then they drafted the defense in the 3rd, 4th round, drafting another linebacker. They drafted a corner, I think. So I think their first main 4 or 5 picks I didn't see after that.
Yeah.
They dressed the defense out of football because that was their weakness.
True. Yeah, they're ready to win it this year. Like they look like they're the most ready in the NFC East right now too, man, which is depressing. And they gave like when they traded at first, I'm like that. I don't know. Did they know something about you know what I mean? Like why let us go up? But I see why now. Yeah. We're gonna suck, dude.
I'll say George chimes in saying 2022 draft picks are like gold dust. If they could not get a 2021 draft pick, they won't get. You're right. I'll say this year people are willing to give away those draft picks a little bit easier than in next year or in years past because look, you didn't have a scouting combine. A lot of these guys took the year off because of the COVID situation. So a lot of these players they might have bowled out 2 years ago, but you don't know what they're gonna you don't know what they're going to do next year because they didn't play a whole season of college football.
Yeah.
And next year we'll have the scouting combine back. We'll have college football back to normal. So teams will be at full strength. So I agree with you, and that's why I feel the Eagles are trying to build a little bit towards next year's draft.
Right.
Look, I understand people are outraged and feeling that the Eagles did not address some of the needs that they needed to, which I would tend to agree with, but this ain't a one-year rebuild.
No, and one player's not going to change the whole system. Plus, they probably stuck to their board, except for maybe a couple instances. But they went with what they thought was the best player available, and it is what it is, man. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. We don't know.
But look, we were bringing up this Eagles draft again and getting back to Devontae Smith. He did meet with the media immediately after being drafted, and just listening to this kid,
he's going to be a problem.
I love his swag. Here's Devontae Smith being asked about if he can be a dynamic playmaker for Sirianni's offense.
I know it's early, and this just happened moments ago, but how dynamic do you think you can be in this offense? You know Jalen Hurts. I'm sure you know a little bit about the Eagles from having talked to them. How dynamic do you think this offense can be, and what kind of impact do you think you can make day one?
I think it can be very dynamic. I mean, we all have to come in and put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to do it. But I feel like this team is going to be putting in the work, and everybody's going to be excited, and we're trying to change the program around.
Go ahead,
do you think you can make an impact? Do you think you can make a big impact day one yourself?
Yes, sir.
Dude,
yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
He says all the – granted, it's a press conference.
Yeah.
I still want him to go out there and play on the football field and show me what he's got. But I love his confidence. I love his swag. I love that he's willing to go in there and work.
Right.
The first thing he texted Jalen Hurts apparently when he was drafted is, let's go, pack your bags. I'm working with you every single day.
Nice. That's what we need. That's what we want. I'm telling you, man, and his play would if he comes in with that attitude, it's just going to help develop these other receivers too, man. Trust me, a bunch of young guys all fighting for the same job, man. That's gonna work in our favor for sure.
But yeah, looking at this draft, Jay Koch brings up a point saying either trade or cut, and then we can use that. He's regarding the Ertz, and then use that money to sign cornerback Nelson from Pittsburgh.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, that's a great point. Look. The Eagles didn't address the cornerback position very highly or the linebacking position very highly. So it tells me one of two things. They're either trying to find maybe a veteran that's maybe on the outskirts, or they're expecting someone to get cut that's going to be available on the free agent market after the June 1st, June 5th, whatever that deadline is, so people can move money around.
Yeah.
There's a couple free agents available like Nelson from Pittsburgh. Or in regards to the linebacking position, they want to see what they have out of Davion Taylor, a third-round pick that they drafted a year ago.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. It is mind-boggling if you think about it, though, man. Seriously, the cornerback was a major need, man, and we could have got that cornerback in that second. See, this is what brings me back to the whole
I agree. Look. You need to address needs, but you still need to go with the best player available on your board.
Yeah.
And the fact that Dickerson was a first-round talent minus his injury concerns, you have to go. You have to go with the value there. And the guy fell into your lap in the second round.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He's a very versatile offensive lineman. The only thing a little bit discouraged by, and I agree with the point that maybe they should have went quarterback, because we have one of the best, if not the best, offensive line coach in all the NFL with Stoutland.
Okay.
He has had success developing late round talent that the Eagles have done in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, that being pretty decent offensive lineman for your franchise over his course of his career.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So with them having the bulk of 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks, you would think maybe they try to address that later on. But
that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
But the thing is, again, value.
Right.
If he's a first-round talent falling to the second round despite his injuries, you pull that freaking trigger because we don't want, despite Stoutland's being able to develop guys, we don't want a guy that's going to take forever to develop.
Right.
We want a guy that can come in here day one and take that job and go in there and be a successful day one player. Because that's the thing we kept on criticizing and how he needed to do. He needed to hit on these in the first 3 rounds at least, guys that can come in here day one and be contributors.
So you think the first 3 rounds are all day one starters?
They did well. The defensive tackle, I feel he's going to get a lot of rotation.
Gotcha.
But he's not taking, unless Hargrave or Fletcher Cox are hurt, he's not taking their job.
Gotcha.
But look, first round, Devontae Smith.
Right.
He's already an upgrade for you.
Absolutely.
Coming in day one over the rest of your squad.
Facts.
Dickerson, he's probably going to be at least a starting guard, in my opinion, or Sam Alu or Brooks.
Yeah.
Brooks probably should keep his job, but we don't know about his return since he's coming off another major injury, his status for the start of the season.
Right. So, yeah, you got that young lineman. I told you they were going to get a center. I said it. I'm like a psychic. Predicted that one. Go ahead. Rewind. Watch past shows. I've said it.
I'll say George chime in. You also need to know if Goddard's the number 1 tight end. You need to know what he is worth. Contracts need to be determined. Ertz does not want to be tight end too, which he brings up another great point. Why don't you just move on from Zach Ertz? Mm-hmm. Because he's obviously not going to want to be a backup. Granted, we know Sirianni. He keep on hearing that he's going to use a lot of 2 tight end sets, and Eagles did not address the tight end position in this draft. So they either are going with both Ertz and Goddard, or once they move on from Ertz,
Richard Rodgers.
Richard Rodgers, I think, is the one that they signed back. So those are your 2 tight ends. And
Rodgers showed some promise last year, man.
He did.
You know what I mean? He's no slouch, man.
He showed a little bit of flashes in the can, but once again, you need to know what you have in Goddard, because last year everyone expected him to have a breakout season coming into year 2.
Right.
Year 2 of his career.
Right. But he lacked quarterback play. You know what I'm saying?
We lacked quarterback play. But look, the whole offense was in shambles, so you can't pinpoint to him and say he's the only one that had a bad year. But like George says, you need to know.
Yeah.
You need to know what you have at the tight end position, because if you move on from Ertz and then Goddard, once his rookie deal is up, are you going to extend him? Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a real good point.
So I'd rather see a lot more touches and a lot more work from Goddard as a full-time starter going into the season day one. And I'm nothing against Ertz. He's been a tremendous talent for us. But once again, he's a 30-year-old plus tight end that had mental and physical issues last season, being hurt, and then we don't know his psyche going into games. He had to take a personal time away.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And you can tell on the field it was affecting him. The contract was affecting him. Whatever personal stuff was affecting him.
Right.
He wasn't the same Zach Ertz. So. And that's the reason why you're not getting the value you want. So the Eagles either do something about it or suck it up.
Yeah, I agree. Good point.
But I'll say we're rolling through the comments. We appreciate everyone that's tuning in to Birds, Beers, and BS. We are doing a special live show following the 2021 NFL Draft. The Eagles are finished with all their selections. So sound off. Tell us your thoughts. Let us know what you would grade the Eagles NFL Draft for this season. Are you happy about it? Do you feel Howie screwed the pooch? Give us your thoughts. Hit the comments. Follow, like, subscribe, all our social media platforms. We appreciate the support. We appreciate to hear your comments in regards about the Philadelphia Eagles. But Peanut, let's get your thoughts. What would you grade the Eagles NFL Draft looking at it, going over what we did?
I'd say probably like a B. I'd say B. A solid B would be. I like I said in the later rounds, I don't know much about those players, so I'll look into it a little more. But from what I've seen the first couple rounds, a solid B would be a fair grade for them. That's what I would give them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, looking at it overall, it started strong, and then it just looked like
it kind of felt like it tapered off at the end of it, though. Don't you feel like that?
It kind of felt they were addressing more. They weren't doing.
Why not get them if the positions were flipped over, and instead of taking a cornerback, I think in the 5th or 6th round, and they took it in the 2nd round, and that would make more sense to me. So there's a little disconnect and confusion over it, but we'll see.
I would give it a little bit of a B plus, just for the fact that they were aggressive in the first round.
Yeah, they were.
Look, they could have sat there. They could have sat at 12. And thankfully, the Dallas Cowboys, this is the only time I'm ever going to praise the Dallas
How
Cowboys.
about them Cowboys?
They did us a favor, because if they weren't interested in trading with us, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith.
Then we would have traded back.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is going to the New York Football Giants if the Dallas Cowboys do not agree to our trade. And obviously, they were targeting Micah Parsons, which, as a Penn State fan and an Eagles fan, I did not want that to happen. But I'll take Devontae Smith if it means they get Micah Parsons. But they also got another freaking player I wanted. They drafted Jabril Cox.
Did they? I'm telling you, Dallas know what they're doing now, right?
Yeah. Well, look, the Dallas Cowboys, you have to give them credit. They have always been a team that, for the most part, has drafted well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sometimes they overpay their players or overpay free agents, but when it comes to the draft, they usually hit on a bulk of them, which is something that we can't say in the city of Philadelphia the last few seasons.
Speaking of Dallas Cowboys, first of all, I'd like to thank Jenna, your wife, for the
intro video.
The intro video she did, and Doc Nice, thank you for the beat. One of my friends, it's dope. What's next?
Jay, you have to be more. Ask Johnny. They are doing a live draft recap tomorrow, him and Tommy. So tune in tomorrow to the Sunday's Live Pro special on here, all about the Birds. You can ask them. I'm not too keen on the most of the late round picks. So I don't know who's drafted.
This is Birds, Beers, and bullshit. We don't know all that good stuff. We're like the Draft for Dummies books, but those are the guys you want to tune into for sure.
I'll say the comments are chiming in, with George chiming in saying, we are trying to find Kelsey's replacement. Those are big boots to fill. Kid is a great pick, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
Look, Dickerson, and that's what, like I told you, look.
But he's injury prone too, though, right?
Oh, well,
he tore like 2 ACLs, man.
Look. I'll worry about that next year when Kelsey retires,
right?
And if he gets hurt then. This season, I want him to come in, learn the system at least, get some reps in practice, and I expect him to be fine.
Okay.
And once again, Stoutland, he has had success developing talent coming into the NFL.
Okay.
George, again, Sirianni also said he works with what he has. He won't force 12 personnel, which he's right. Sirianni has said numerous times, look, this ain't. I'm going to work my players' strengths and not game plan for my not have my players game plan for me.
Yeah, that's a good.
So we just assume he's going to work a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of split back sets, all that type of stuff. Just because that's something that they did in Indianapolis. And granted, he was under Frank Wright, so he was mainly under his scheme. Right, but. We'll see how it works, and I'll say George is bringing up a lot of great points again here. But then you're chasing need. For years, we have asked them to stick to the board, which I felt I felt that they did. It felt
like they did, except for one maybe particular situation. We'll get into that later.
DD Service chiming in saying how he's rebuilding, so the picks are just fill-ins because the D-line will not be the same next season. Yes and no. Look, we need to get deeper along that offensive line. Last year, we were a little thin, in my opinion. Yeah. We had to bring back a bunch of old veterans. We had to bring back Vinny Curry, which nothing against him, but he wasn't the same player from that Super Bowl run. But I agree. But look, after this season, Brandon Graham's possibly on his way out. We don't know if he's going to be here after this year. Right. Josh Sweat, he seemed like a guy that can step in, but we don't know if he can be that 3-down defensive end just because of his prior knee issues. Right. And then Derek Barnett, we have him on a 1-year deal in that 5th-year option. You'll know his status after this year. So I not maybe this season, but next season, definitely, it could be the possibility that they're trying to build some depth and get these guys in here so they have possible replacements for the future.
Yeah, smart move, man. I mean, they're not sexy picks. They're picks that we needed. So
I'll say Craig Canan chimes in saying, are the Eagles saying that Hurts is the future of this team?
Yes. There's my answer. Yes. You don't get Devontae Smith. You don't get the center. Yes. He is our quarterback of the future, at least the foreseeable future.
Look, I agree. He is our starter for at least 2021. Mm-hmm. They like I keep on bringing up here on this program and all the programs I'm on. They do not want to give Jalen Hurts any type of an excuse.
And neither does Jeffrey either.
Yeah, you don't want to give him any type of excuse next season on why he cannot succeed.
Right.
Because you need to know what you have as your quarterback if he's the quarterback for the future, especially potentially 3 first-round picks next season entering next year's draft. You need to know what you have at the quarterback position.
Right.
They get him the playmaker. They get him another offensive lineman for the that build next season and for the future if he sticks around.
Right.
And remember, they need to trade up, but who was on the board when they picked Devontae Smith? Justin Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields. That's right. I was scared.
I was panicking like Justin Fields, where they better not be trading up for Justin Fields.
Yeah, I thought the same shit.
But then I sat back. I'm like, look, the Giants don't need a quarterback. The Cowboys don't need a quarterback, so they're trading up for someone else.
Right.
And with Devontae there, I knew it was Devontae. I was praying it was Devontae. The only reason, if for some reason they were going to draft a quarterback, and try to get Fields, unless for some reason one of the other teams behind them was trying to trade up,
right?
Like the Chicago Bears or the Denver Broncos or whoever else that might have been looking for the quarterback. But I'll say Craig brings up another thing I wanted to bring up. Look, we didn't draft a quarterback this draft. We are now stuck with 2 quarterbacks, which that'll change. They're going to draft or not draft. They're going to pick up probably an undrafted free agent that'll eventually be your 3rd quarterback.
Practice squad.
Yeah, well, no.
Are they going 3 QBs?
I feel they're going to at least go 3 QBs because if Jalen Hurts goes down, do you really have trust in Joe Flacco to stay healthy for a full season at his age?
No, not stay healthy. No. He's what is he, like 35? You fucking geezer.
George saying, how many linebackers do they really need? Not worry about Dallas. Look, George, I'm not trying to give Dallas credit, but I understand they don't probably need all those linebackers, but they're picking stud players that fit their scheme, in my opinion, and they're making it. They're allowing competition. They're bringing a lot of young talent in there. And you have to remember, Sean Lee retired. So one Penn State linebacker leaves, another Penn State linebacker comes in.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Never thought of it.
So, look, those, regardless if they need them or not, they're going to be 2 guys for the future for them. That's going to be studs.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a real problem.
And Craig asks us, are they building the team around Hurts? And I feel they're building the team for the future, whether that's Hurts or not.
Well, it starts with the quarterback. So, to answer that question, that's exactly what they're doing. They're building around Hurts. They committed to Hurts. I don't think they're not going to be. Listen, if Hurts has a good to great year this year, pencil him in. He's going to be your quarterback for the next 5 years. And that's how I see it.
George chiming in again. No, they haven't said that. They're giving Hurts a chance. There's a reason why they have high picks in 2022. Yeah, we agree. We're not saying Jalen Hurts is the quarterback for the distant future. We're saying he's the quarterback for at least 2021, and he has to prove himself. And that, unless he was responding to Craig's comment, he might have been responding to Craig saying, are they building a team around Hurts? Which for 2021, maybe, but these picks are for the future, regardless if Hurts is here or not. They're trying to get better to turn this ship around. Howie has said numerous times, this ain't going to be a 1-year rebuild. Granted, we want to be a competitive football team. We want to be able to try at least compete, and we feel in their eyes that they're making the right moves, which Eagles fans might not feel the same way considering some of the players that were left on the board. Yeah. But that's let me bring up that video. I'm sure it's been seen around by a lot of been around already. But
this is what I want to talk about.
Look, we might be a little bit happy about some of these picks, and we get some of the picks, but there was a little bit of a disconnect in that Eagles war room. I don't know if anyone has solved it.
Here.
We kept on hearing going into this draft about Howie and Jeffrey basically taking control of that war room in years past and basically having final say. They wouldn't list anyone, and obviously it looked there from Tom Donahue that he wasn't too happy about that defensive tackle pick, which I get it. Hallie was asked about that in regards to by the media after that selection, saying,
Right.
look, it looked like not everyone was on the same page, and Hallie basically gave the company line like, look, when you have that many people in the room with that many different opinions,
Right.
that you're not going to please everyone. Some people are going to fall in love with different players.
Right.
And he felt that they had to go with what was on their board, and they felt that kid, the defensive tackle, was the higher guy on the board and it fit their scheme better at that time.
Yeah, but Tom was pissed, man. He was not having it. I understand disagreements, and they were like, all right, I didn't get my guy, but at least we got this guy. Tom, he looked visibly shaken and upset that pick was made, and it does add into the lore of dysfunction that's going on with Philadelphia right now, period.
Yeah.
Period.
It's like George says, it happens in every war room. Don't make a big deal of it. The camera just happened to catch, which I agree.
True.
I feel it's getting overblown.
They need to take those fucking cameras out there.
Well, it was funny because after that selection, when they showed the Eagles war room later on, they didn't show Tom.
Tom was
So everyone thought he got kicked out, and apparently multiple reporters reached out to the Eagles brass and say, "Hey, where's Tom?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, he's in here still. He just wasn't showing on camera, probably for that reason." But
they made him sit in the corner.
no, I kind of felt it was overblown. Look,
It was overblown.
and I feel
It
the
is.
reason why it's overblown is
It's
because
funny as shit, though.
it's because of those reports from The Athletic, from Jeff McLean, talking about how Howie does not listen to his scouts.
Right. Yeah.
So, and when we hear those reports and then see that on video,
In real time.
yeah, you're gonna be like, what the hell?
Yeah. I said I laughed my ass off. He's like, damn, dude, what the fuck? Anyways, did George say every war room's probably like that? It just sucks that the camera caught it at that moment. He's fist bumping everybody. He goes up to Tom, and Tom chumps him. He went to take the fist bump.
But DD Services asking us, do you think the Phillies should use all 3 first-rounders next year? Should be on O-line.
No.
No, not. They're not going to use 3 first-round picks on the offensive line.
It's not if there's 3 offensive linemen that are graded in the top 10 and you can get all of them, yeah.
No, look.
Is that yeah? No. I mean, you're going to have to build around a defense eventually too. You have other positions that need to be filled.
We just had 2021 NFL draft. Unless you're Johnny from AT Birds or Adam Mack, one of our writers, who's basically obsessed with the draft and probably already have their 2022 NFL draft rankings, I'm not looking that far yet. The college football season hasn't even started, or even the spring games have barely started.
Yeah.
So. And things can change in an instant.
Facts.
Everyone keeps on saying, well, next year's draft class is going to be deeper at this position or that position.
Right.
Every single year, we find new talent that come out of nowhere, have breakout seasons, and they jump from a 3rd-round selection to a 1st-round selection.
Right.
A lot can change. Or someone blows out their knee or is lost for the season. Look at Dickerson.
Yeah.
He was a 1st-round talent that we got in the 2nd round. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, they drafted the future center. I see them addressing the offensive line position next year, but I don't see all 3 first-round picks. Look, we still need to know what we have with Jalen Hurts. If he doesn't pan out, you see them focusing at the quarterback position.
Right.
You still have some open holes on the defensive side of football. We have aging safeties. We still need an opposite corner of Darius Slay who's almost past his prime at 28 years old.
Yeah.
Still need to address, maybe there's a premier pass rusher. Now, if there's a left tackle, if Andre Dillard doesn't pan out, or Mailata, and there's a stud left tackle like Sewell in this year's draft,
right?
Yeah, I see them addressing that position. But for them to address all 3 positions on offensive linemen next year, and granted, we can't even guarantee that one of those 1st-round selections is a 1st-rounder.
Yeah, we got to wait.
We still have to wait for Wentz, whether he can play the full season or he takes him to the playoffs or whatever. So, granted, it's very likely, but...
Yeah, we'll get that first round.
Say, Craig wants to know, Peanut, what are you drinking? Are you drinking Heineken?
I'm drinking Heineken, Craig. You see that on your 75-inch TV? There you go. Heineken.
Who's this? Is this your buddy, Didi?
Who's that?
DD Services, is this your boy?
Yeah, that's my.
Okay, he says "F you guys," so
That's
he didn't like our opinion.
That's What's up, David? You should be here.
George Kachami said he would care more if it was Andy Weidel, which I agree with. But again, thank you for everyone tuning into all of Birds, Beers, and BS here on the All About the Birds Network, powered by Manscaped. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Remember, follow, like, subscribe all our social media platforms. Check out aatbirds.com and check out our shop, aatbirds.com/shop.
Yeah.
You're not wearing, okay, he is wearing gear.
I'm rocking it. Yo, the beard, son.
Phil, I was saying he's rocking your Beard of Knowledge shirts. If you want Beard of Knowledge, AT Birds gear or Birds, Beers, and BS gear, make sure to check out our website. By supporting us, you're helping build our brand, so we cannot do this without you. Support our sponsors. We have Manscaped. Use AT Birds discount code at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. 99jersey.com. We also have Statement Games. Sign up on our website for their website. They have some great free betting program for you to win a bunch of gift cards and stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So once again, Hemp Bombs, AT Birds, use our code there for 20% off. We have tons of great sponsors without them, so please support our sponsors. By supporting our sponsors, you help support us. So
thank you
everyone for tuning in. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Final thoughts. I'm gonna say, you know what? All in all, the draft wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and I can rest easy knowing that they're rebuilding this thing and they're gonna try to win next year.
Craig saying he shaves his you know what with Manscaped. So Craig, use our code. If you haven't used it already, use AAT Birds, 20% off and free shipping using our code AAT Birds. So again, once again, use that code. Help our sponsors, helps us.
Yeah.
DD Services saying great show as always. Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
Spread the word to your friends, everyone.
Yes.
The more people that watch the show, the bigger we get. Maybe we'll get some guests.
Yeah.
We want to build this brand to be something special because look, we're normal people. We're normal guys. We're football fans. We're Eagles fans. We're just guys here shooting the shit and talking football. So we appreciate everyone taking their time out of their Saturday night and watching us. And we have tons of great program here on the AT Birds Network. Mondays we do have Chips and Dish with Chip. Tuesdays Fairways to Heaven with Phil and Jason. Wednesday is the flagship program, the weekly report AT Birds.
Yep.
And then Thursdays. We don't have anything Thursdays as of right now, but there is a YouTube exclusive Ultimate Statement with Phil and our Statement Games, our contact. They've been doing a show weekly now, so make sure to check out, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes,
and then typically we record our show Fridays off for our YouTube. So again, if you like our show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, All About the Birds, Philadelphia Eagles podcast, to catch our program and all our prior programs as well.
Yes, sir.
And then typically Saturdays is the draft show, but since the draft is over, there's no more draft show. Tomorrow there will be a special live with Tommy and Johnny breaking down and giving final thoughts on this past year's draft.
If you guys want to know what really happened during the draft, watch this show, man. They'll break it down perfectly for you. Trust me.
Again, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Warner NFL. You can where the hell's Party Doll Dave? We didn't even
He's been fucking slacking.
Yeah.
Here he goes. Party Doll Dave's back in the house.
Follow Pete on Twitter at Party Doll Dave 1. We appreciate everyone supporting. And as we say here on All About the Birds, drink him if you got him.
Support for All About the Birds is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked us up with a bunch of tools and formulations from their Perfect Package 3.0 kit, including the Lawnmower 3.0, which comes with an LED light for a more precise shave and is waterproof to make your shower shave clean and easy. The Perfect Package also includes a deodorant for your undercarriage to prevent odors and chafing, a reviving lotion, a pair of boxers and a t-shirt, not to mention a travel bag to store all your grooming goodies. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATBirds at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code AATBirds. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.